I'm gonna need my. Thank you. So before I begin, my name is Scott, and Daniel already mentioned I'm the CEO, the Chief Media Officer of Evilnut, and before all this happened, and I was talking to Daniel like right before we rehearsal, and we were just talking, and she said, "Oh, how can I introduce you?" I said, "How did we meet?" And she said, drinking in a bar. Is that why? I was like, no, don't tell everyone I drink, right? So, bad influence. So today, I really, the reason I said that is because this is not I don't want it to be a classic product launch, which is really super boring, right? So I want to be more interactive. I want, you guys to join us. And, I define myself, or Evilnut, as I'm an owner of a small business, one of the small businesses in Canada. So the definition of that is that we have less than 100 full-time paid employees. And in fact, we only have 41. So, well, we're still growing, but there's so much growth, so much space, and we're getting it. But hopefully. So a little bit on our company. So Evilnut is a local software developing company specializing in web and mobile applications, and also as well as inbound marketing, SEO, SEM, those kind of stuff. But our goal, our mission is to help you to build the presence, and with, of course, with an affordable price. And as a service provider, we always wonder. Our dream is to build a product that's actually unique, and what I call it, we can solve some sort of social issues. But that did not happen. When we first started in 2014, we had 4 full-time employees, and now we're going to 41, but still, before this product, this whole thing, we had no unique product we can sell. We can provide a service, and I'm very confident in our service, but we just can't, we don't have anything to sell, and that was the problem, right? And so, I mean, again, I really want to show my appreciation for you guys, that you guys show up today, actually, and there's many of you sitting in the back. Like, I apologize, I didn't know it was this crowded. I thought this small lunch, and I really appreciate your time, and it really tells me that you actually care about your businesses and your partner, and of course your colleagues, your co-workers, everything about your businesses. And thank you for being here. And I'm here doing the speech, but actually I'm just here for the food. Hopefully there's going to be enough. Yeah. So again, before we go into anything about Pinmo and today's product launch, I just want to say that this product is again, we're not talking about features. We're not talking about a service. We're talking about solve some sort of issues within ourselves, or with the problems that we're facing. So so back in we developed this almost for 10, 11 months. And back in last year, November, so Leon and Tony, which is my senior level developers, and now they're growing so fast, and I don't understand what they're saying. But so they reach out to me and say, okay, Scott, you're a rookie CEO, and our team is getting big, but we just don't have product, right? And we want to build something amazing, but do you have anything in your mind? I said, you know what? Let's do brainstorming. Let's chip in ideas. Let's see what we got. And we give ideas. We think about inbound marketing. We think about software development. We think about plugins, different technologies, and all that kind of stuff. The nerdy stuff. But we just don't have that mindset that we can build something great. And suddenly we came up with this idea: why don't we target social media and target the power of social media advertising and connect that to the consumers. I said, you know what? That's a great idea. And we might have a lot of insights on that, and we have a lot of data to prove that we might make a better product and then use it in the society. And so, I told them it's way better than what they used to make in application. We make applications, right? And they used to make this application. Like it determines if you guys ever seen Silicon Valley, this is what they do, right? Tony and Leon, they make applications determine whether it's a hot dog or non-hot dog. And by any chance, the product we are actually producing and we have is way better than this one. So it doesn't matter what concept was from last year or anything, it was better than this one. So I was happy. I was happy to invest my time and invest a lot of the team and put more and more pressure on the sales and anything like that. So because I'm just we're not doing Jane, right? We're not doing the hot dog ad. So so after all that, okay. So where's my video? Okay. So Leon, oh my God, you kidding? Leon, you actually, oh my God, Leon, where's Leon? You're actually gonna do this to me, right? I need my video. Okay, all right, whatever. Okay, this is a prank. So yeah. Oh, okay, all right. I'm not gonna need my lucky item. Oh my God. Okay, good. Let's have something, right? There we go. Okay, that's my best friend, Captain Obvious. If any of you seen Hotels.com's advertising, this is Captain Obvious. This is a good man, and he's a man with facts, and he talks about facts. So before we get into Pinmo, let me give you some facts. And the first one is very exciting. The first one is talking about small businesses. And BC is actually leading in growing small businesses. And we contribute a large part of GDP. It's actually 30% of our national GDP, and which is amazing because when we talk about small businesses, we are part of it, right? And if you look at the stats, 70.5% of the total labor force is actually working for one of you guys. And are you very proud of that? Because if we don't exist anymore, that 70.5%, where are they going to go? They're not going to go to Microsoft, they're not going to go to Google, they're not going to go anywhere. They're just going to simply lose their jobs. And we don't want that to happen. But this is a very exciting fact because it shows that we're very important. And the second one, not so exciting because, in the Research Council on one of the government website, it says 50% of these small businesses, they can't pass the third year. That just gave me a heart attack because we're kind of just on our fourth and fifth year. We just kind of passed that, and what's going on? What's the solution or what to blame? What's going on? I want to know why, right? I want to know what's going on. But before that, I look deeper into the stat sheet and look deeper and see what's going on from 2013 till now. Every year, we have 78,000 of small businesses born and start growing. But we have 83,000 businesses, they just died out. They just disappeared. And that's not good. Because if you can do the calculation, I'm Asian, by the way, so I don't know how to do math, right? So we're decreasing this in a pretty big number. So 4,810 businesses dies, and that's a 9 decrease. And what the hell, right? That's not good, because if that continues to happen, what happens is in the next 10, 20, 30 years, we're going to run out of small businesses. And remember that 70.5% of the labor force, they're just going to blame on us, or they're going to create more stuff, I don't know. They're going to run their own businesses, I don't know. So, who to blame? honestly, when I first thought of that question, I blame on myself because it's always about leadership, management, finance, cash flow, the product, and blah blah blah. All that with the small business owners, you have to control it. You have to know a little bit of this and that. I learned accounting since the second year when we started, and I learned how to do a proper management. Although I suck at it, but you just gotta learn a lot of stuff. But I take the blame. But this is what happened. Almost 75% of these small business owners, they actually have 10 plus years of experience. So they have more experience than I do. And they're basically an expert in their industry. And they are good at what they do, right? So what happened? What really happened? And I go deeper and wonder what's going on. But I'm going to share with you a true fact that I never share with my team. I never share with any of my clients. As a digital marketing, or what do you call it, software development firm, we tend to generate more revenue based on inbound marketing. So, which means that I'm too cheap to pay the sales. Exactly. Yes. But you guys are getting your paid. So what do you mean by inbound marketing? Is whatever the advertising or whatever digital marketing or whatever advertising you have, online, offline, traditional, it doesn't matter. You're trying to draw attention and trying to get the clients and consumers into your building, into your door, and ask how much is the service, how much is the product. So, the true fact is that we almost paid over $100,000 last year to be on top on Google, to be on top on Facebook, to be everywhere, and to get the most sales out of this market. And after a calculation, we have a negative return of investment, negative ROI. That hurts so bad because we just don't have the courage to present ourselves in a way that within ourselves, we're a digital marketing firm and we can't even market ourselves. And that's a crucial fact because we put all those advertising, all those money into Google, trusting Google advertising, trusting Facebook advertising manager. It hurts me, it hurts the company. And so I came up with a terminology where there's a zero effect. Because with 70% of these advertising we did, and a lot of you guys, I believe, have the same experience that they're not efficient, they're not effective at all. And you can't really simply track their conversion or track their return on investment. Like, we are really good at this, but still, we can't say we're precisely tracking everything from Google, from newspaper, from television. And we're just not making a lot of money out of it. And you probably have the same kind of experience with television. You have so much exposure, but it's very, very freaking expensive. And newspaper, yeah, there's tons of limitations, but it really depends how you use it, right? And there's social media, and I mentioned Google a couple times on search engine. You always, what's the last time you guys see a fake Facebook user? It's probably last night, or just now when you guys are using the Facebook, chatting with different people, right? They might be fake, just as you know, right? And there's average of 30 to 40% garbage or wasted traffic, and you actually pay for that traffic. That's the tricky part, right? It's not the traffic that you're not paying for. These traffic that you pay for. You pay for each click, each like, each comment, and they're actually traffic. They're actually garbage traffic. They're fraud. And you're basically throwing your money in water. And you're not getting anything back. So, right now, we're kind of at this point where we're doing any type of advertising. And we're thinking, if we want to instant sales, if we want to get a good return on investment, is it going to be possible? Or is it going to be like a jackpot? 649. For our case, is worse than a jackpot, because I know if we're going to double that our advertising budget, which we could, it's not going to work again. So again, let me give you another definition of this. I graduated from SFU Computer Science, and back then, oh, nice. Yeah, so it was a good time, but no parties, you know, it's really. Yeah, no, don't like it. Okay. So I think in the second or third year we have this terminology where infinite loop. What's the definition of infinite loop? That's if you run a program, it just goes. It's like a crazy rabbit. It just runs around, but it never ends. And that loop goes forever and ever and ever. It doesn't produce any data. It doesn't produce any good operations. So that's an infinite loop. And it's the same thing as I talked about using our case. So we put some marketing budget into it, and we can't hit the target. So I was hoping at least if we put 100K, we'll probably hit another say 200K, 300K in terms of sales. We're not. And this year we're struggling with that inbound marketing. Then what we do? Are we gonna keep going? And what are the options? But definitely, I know one thing that's true is that we are having less and less marketing budget if we keep continuing on this route. Yes, there you go, Jackie Chan. Yeah. Oh, you guys like that, huh? Rich comics. So basically, at the end of the day, you're pretty much on your own because you have no marketing budget. I'm assuming you already generate kind of good sales based on referrals, based on your other connections, and you use part of this money to get advertising, but it doesn't work that way. And suddenly you have to go back to referrals, and that just hurt because you're not going to get more and more referrals unless you run good advertising and optimize the product itself. So let me give you another really simple case because I think you guys are really struggling on this idea. Say that with us, we have 10K of marketing budget, and we make 100 sales, and each of them is worth $110, and the net worth of that sales is 11,000. So the first one goes okay. I mean, we barely cover our ass, but what's going to be a second one? Facebook, Google, social media, newspaper, television. If you pay them big money, sure, they're going to optimize your campaign, but in a way where they don't really give a shit. But basically your campaign and advertising is going to be overlapped. There's going to be identical contents, identical information, and that's not good because you're overlapping. You're using the same amount of money, but you're paying twice as much, but you're actually getting the same